What's up? Tim Sykes, millionaire trader and mentor here with a special treat for you. I just did this podcast with SteadyTrade with my friend and student Tim Bohen. We're reviewing just a lot of what's happened the past few days. We've been all over the place, namely closing the ringing bell on Nasdaq. Ringing the closing bell. I don't know why I said that. We'll use it, whatever. We'll just go with it. We're being real, right? We rang the closing bell on the Nasdaq, which was cool. And then we also presented at the TradersExpo. So it was a good New York trip. Check it out.
We have our guest, an old friend of mine, business associate, buddy, etc. Tim Sykes is here. And what we want to go over, the topic of today is a really neat experience that we recently did. If you follow SteadyTrade on social, if you follow Tim, you'll see that we got to visit the Nasdaq, and then we also presented at the TradersExpo. So you can all actually go on Tim's YouTube, and Tim and I did about a 35-40 minute presentation at the TradersExpo. So that's on his YouTube. So today we're just going to kind of go over really. I think it's exciting. It was exciting for Tim and I, as well as SteadyTrade, and kind of a lifelong goal of mine. And I would still like to make it to the New York Stock Exchange as well. But Tim and I got to go on the floor of the Nasdaq, which many of you probably know, especially if you're nerds like I am. We were in Times Square at the Nasdaq, where the actual Nasdaq is out in the data center in New Jersey. But nevertheless, it was still cool to kind of go there in Times Square, in the Mecca. So we're just going to kind of recount that and talk about that today, and also some other stuff that Tim has brewing as well. So welcome aboard, Tim Sykes. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Tim Bohen.
So tell me, you had mentioned that you actually had been to the Nasdaq before. So tell me about the first time you were there.
Yeah, so this was the second time I rang the bell. It was an honor the first and the second time, and any future time. I don't want to go to the New York Stock Exchange. I'm not a big fan of going to museums. So for me, like if I go to the New York Stock Exchange, I might as well just go to the Museum of Natural History. At least I'll learn some more stuff rather than, there's walking dinosaurs. They don't realize that they're extinct yet, and it's kind of scary. Like the dinosaurs in the actual museum, they know that they're extinct, they're dead, right? So we get that, we know their history. But the New York Stock Exchange, it's like kind of like The Walking Dead, right? Like they don't even realize that they're zombies.
It's funny you say that, because I don't even know what are, there's like all those old guys, like every time the market drops really hard, CNBC will show these guys. I don't even know what those guys are doing. I think they might just be like paid to stand around. They're not quite at like the Jell-O stage yet, but they're going to be made into Jell-O shortly. So I think they're just being led on like it's nice, like you live a good life, okay. But it's kind of like Lost, if you remember the TV show Lost, where they're already dead, but they don't realize it. Spoiler, if you haven't seen that. No, seriously, like the Nasdaq. They were actually dead?
Yeah, you didn't see the last. It was not a good ending. Yeah, the whole thing. They're dead. They're all dead.
That golden hatch.
No.
So that was it.
They were all dead. They were all dead. It was very disheartening. Yeah.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the New York Stock Exchange. Nasdaq, I think, is the future. Electronics, very technology based. And so for me, that was the greater honor. And it was amazing, to be up on a giant billboard in Times Square. I've been really trying to work on my ego. I've been trying to get a little more aggressive, a little more arrogant. I'm a little introverted, and I'm still a little unsure of myself after 20 years in this game.
I'm glad that your New Year's resolution for 2019 is to work on your arrogance.
I'm trying to be.
I noticed, your self-confidence is a little lacking.
Everybody's trying to be all humble, and I just like to go against the grain. So I'm like, my New Year's resolution is to be more arrogant in 2019. So if you meet me, see me in person, I'm going to try, but I can't promise anything. I'm going to try to be a bigger dick than I previously have been. We're right now overwhelmed with students, which is a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. So I'm trying to weed out the people who don't, aren't truly successful, minded. Like they're not really dedicated. They get, in like a hissy fit if I have bad grammar or if I swear. Like we're trying to weed those people out because I just don't want to deal with them. So I think if I'm more arrogant and I travel the world more, maybe if I donate more to charity, just see what happens. Like more schools are named after me. I think that's a good thing.
So jumping back to the
I'm kidding, by the way. It's not good to be arrogant. I'm just being sarcastic. Calm down, you little snowflakes. Don't melt.
So back to the Traders Expo. That was pretty cool. You can, if you're listening, you can Google Traders Expo. They have shows all over the place. But one thing that
it was good to be back at the Traders Expo. I haven't been there in like a decade. Last time I was banned for calling out one of the biggest scams that I have ever heard of. And I'm not even going to mention him because I think he might be in jail. I don't know if he's in jail or on trial. I've gotten lost in the headlines in some of his defunct companies. But I'm not necessarily like the friendly kind of guy. Like if I see a scam, I'm going to call them out. So I was banned for like a decade, but now I think that I'm welcome back because people see that I'm transparent. They see that, we have this kind of blossoming student base and this awesome software called StoxToTrade.
Yeah. So it was fun. I actually enjoyed it, and it's interesting how, you talk about the world of, I do air quotes, real stocks versus the world of penny stocks, low price stocks, etc. But
and options, lots of options traders. And I gotta say, we had 2 different newsletters on Profitly that were focused on options. Neither of them survived, okay? Like, we've worked with a lot of traders, a lot of gurus. A lot of students tried the options and they're like, this is amazing, just made $7,500. I was like, cool, options, all right, I don't do it, but it works for some people. Literally 2 days later, I'm getting texts like, cancel me, I lost everything. Like, you just can't control the risk. So for me, options and big stocks, like, they're just not good games. And I'm sorry that I put myself in this little box of low price stocks, which the whole world hates, but I think that's the best niche, especially for average retail traders. You can control your risk. You're not competing against any really sophisticated investors because there's not enough money to be made. It's a very nice self-contained niche full of garbage, and you can learn to ride the garbage. Like, picture like a big garbage heap in the movie WALL-E, where he's like riding it, he's collecting the garbage, and then he's riding it, and it's like surfing, and it's kind of like that. We're surfing garbage stocks.
And the point I was going to make was I was surprised because I knew it was a lot of options, a lot of real stocks, a lot of Forex and stuff like that. And if you want to see these things, Trader Expo, it's free, go visit. But I didn't know. I thought maybe we would present. I presented twice on my own. You and I did 2 together, and every single time it was standing room only. I didn't know, being that we're penny stock junk traders, I thought I'd be presenting it to like 6 people. But I was very happy. I mean, standing room only every time. It's
kind of crazy, that the bad guy, the penny stock guy, has become the most popular because it's all about what's being real. CNBC's ratings are at multi-decade lows. There's an ugly bald man on CNBC. You can rub his head for good luck. He's still going to be right 35 to 40% of the time. It's not going to get you that rich. So for me, I can offend people, I can say what I want, I can do crazy stuff, but I want to be real and right with my strategies and my rules. And that pays off over time. It's no different than the New York Stock Exchange, where like I started off this conversation saying they're dinosaurs. There are a lot of big companies, like most of the legitimate companies are on there, but for trading, it's just not the future. Like there's not enough volatility.
If you've got a small account, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is like, okay, if you've got $3 million to trade with, you can wait 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year for Apple or Amazon or whatever to move. But if you're trying to build this small account, and get to the point where you can, trade other stuff, I mean, in my opinion, you gotta start with the low price.
Well, Apple and Amazon are Nasdaq still, but at least they're volatile. But I'm talking about like some of these boring coal companies. These legitimate companies that they're fantastic companies, but for trading purposes, they're just dead. So you really have to recognize the difference. And you can hate on penny stocks, you can hate on me, but I'm just going to keep doing what's worked for me for the past 20 years. The patterns haven't changed. The rules haven't changed. I might have refined the rules a little bit. I'm a lot more cautious now. I'm more long biased. I think short sellers risk blowing up every single day. And I hate that, I have a lot of lessons on short selling, but in this current market, and with the amount of newbie shorts, the risk reward is just not there.
Yeah, it's funny, as a lesson to the listener out there, I mean, the market is always changing. Well, it's not always changing. In my opinion, it's kind of like a wheel. You're kind of moving through these different environments. And I think back to when I first found you, when penny stocking was all short selling, 2007 through probably 2012, 2013. I mean, all these stocks would spike and fail the same day. And now we see these multi-day runs, which, back to the fact, most of them are NASDAQ stocks. Most of these stocks are crazy liquid. I mean, I think back to 10 years ago, we would be looking to trade stocks that maybe traded 1 million shares a day. Now, with these, because they were OTCs, they were pink sheets and stuff like that. Now you get these multi-day runners on the NASDAQ, they're trading 80, 100 million shares a day. And I think that's why the market is flipped, where we're much more long friendly versus short.
Yeah, there's a lot more short sellers these days, and I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for the newbies who aren't necessarily bad people who teach them. They just don't know what they don't know. I can't tell you how many newbies who've been trading for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and they think they know everything. They're like, Tim, you're the dinosaur. And I'm like, I talk to more traders probably than anybody in the entire world. I kind of have like my finger on the pulse of the trader market just based on everyone messaging me in my social media. I'm very grateful. But I can tell when there's too many newbies partaking in a strategy where they don't have necessarily the know-how or the planning to get out quick enough. BPTH, we saw the other day. I know several traders in other chat rooms that are primarily short-selling focused. They got massacred. It was like the Native Americans with the Caucasians. When the Caucasians came onto America, we killed them all with our guns, with our diseases, and that's what BPTH did to newbie short sellers. So you have to be very careful learning from the wrong sources, whether it's old dinosaurs where they're not trading volatile stuff, or they're not trading stocks or commodities or anything that has some kind of odds in your favor, and you have to worry about the other spectrum, the other side, where they're brand new and they think they've reinvented the wheel when in fact they just don't understand risk.
And what I love about stuff like BPTH, again, is, one of the nice things, I've got 12 years of experience, you've got 20 plus. I mean, so I can't wait, because BPTH is now under 20, it's fading. Bring up the chart in March, you'll know what we're talking about. At some point, I'm confident, a month from now, 2 months from now, BPTH will probably be a single-digit stock. It'll probably be $7, $8. And again, you mentioned these kind of newbie short sellers. I guarantee they will bring up that chart of BPTH and be like, this is why shorting works. This is why it's a great idea to short these stocks. Meanwhile, they haven't been squeezed as many times as you and I have. They don't realize that when that thing goes from 2 to 70 and then back to single digits, you're done. You're wiped out. If you've got a small, even if you've got a large account, you can't withstand that 1,000% move up and then back down. But I can't wait, again, a month from now when all the I told you so's will come out and people will be like, I told you so when BPH was 7. I told you it was coming down,
I mean, using the Stocks to Trade social media search tool, I was looking on Twitter, and there were so many shorts who were shorting so big because it went from single digits to the 20s, 30s, and at 40, they're like, there's no way it's going higher. Then it goes to 70. And what if, this time it went to 70 and came back down? What if it went to 100? What if it went to 200? All it takes is one of these plays for you to miss time, and it blows you up. You kill 1 year, 5 years. You can even kill a 20-year career in one trade. So the risk is just not good, and newbies don't understand risk. They're not prepared for these massive losses. They're not prepared for the massive speed. And this is what teaching is all about. This is why I take so much pride in what you and I do, where we're teaching based on our experience. And this is why, to bring it full circle with the Nasdaq and the Trading Expo, a lot of people just aren't prepared for the markets these days. Whether it's Trading Expo, a lot of attendees, they're just not, in the right frame of mind. They need training. Nasdaq, okay, you're trading these volatile stocks, but are you prepared for that volatility? New York Stock Exchange, which I don't even think you should be trading, at least they're not going to move that much. That's frankly why I think most newbies gravitate towards these big companies, because it's just not scary. The problem is it's just not going to get you rich either. So I think that the key is to trade volatile stocks but to be prepared, to have a plan. That way you have the potential upside where you can grow your account exponentially, as several of your top students and my top students have done, and then just monitor your risk. If you don't have that potential upside, they're not worth trading. If you don't know how to monitor the risk, they're not worth trading. So it's a balancing act.
Yeah, that's again, what I love about, geez, anymore, I would guess, you trade a little bit of the OTCs a little more. 99% of what I look at is Nasdaq stocks, and that's the great thing about them is, again, once you set your risk, once you have your plan, you have to have that plan. But the ideally, even if you don't catch that multi-day, multi-week runner, worst case scenario, the stock fades back, you lose a couple percentage. That's what's different in my mind between the old days of trading the OTCs. They can drop. You try overnighting an OTC stock, and you might wake up to a 30-40% gap down. So that's why I like the fact that Nasdaq is the place to be right now.
Yeah.
So so we kind of went over that. Any particular memories from either of those events you want to talk about?
I love meeting everybody in person.
Yep, that's cool.
Seriously, the expo, so many of you guys came up to us. I freaking love that. If we can inspire you, if we can teach you anything that we've learned over the years, that's good. Don't try to copy our trades exactly. Learn from our process. See what we do right, see what we do wrong. Try and take a little something from every single trader. And, be my guest. Try out these newbie traders. You'll watch, and you'll probably realize too late that, they're teaching flawed strategies, or, some of these people who don't show all their trades. I'm very excited to see what happens in the future as, we continue being fully transparent, showing all of our trades, and showing all of our student trades, as opposed to the industry, which is very secretive. I think transparency is the future. I think just being honest about your wins and your losses and your full track record, I think that's the key. So I love where we're going. I love the Trading Expo. I'd love to ring the opening or closing bell on the Nasdaq again. It's just a fantastic ride. It's all together. It's not any one thing in particular. This is hard work paying off. I grew up, didn't have any idea that I'd be ringing the bell of any exchange. I just wanted to learn, and I wanted to be rich. And through enough hard work, decades of hard work, I've done it. And the good news is, you guys watching this, you don't have to put in 2 decades like I have, or a decade plus with Tim Bohen, because of the tools and the lessons that we provide you speed up your learning curve. So if you're watching this, congratulations. Just take it seriously.
What got you started in trading, and if you haven't read Tim's book, American Hedge Fund, I think it's a must-read. Check it out. But I remember reading that book in your history. What got you started trading was you injured both your elbows or surgery or whatever. So you talked about being an athlete back then, and I was impressed at the Trader Expo because I brought up a bag of shirts, and Tim started chucking them out to the crowd, and I tried to stop him. I tried to kick. If you watch the video, it's on YouTube. I tried to kick him as well as punch him, and he dodged both of them. I was impressed with your athleticism, Tim. We're sitting at a laptop for 20 years. You're quick on your feet. I was impressed.
I still have a little bit, it's fun. It was good to give out stuff. And by the way, if you do come and see me or Tim Bohen talk, we like to encourage you guys with little t-shirts and little stuff like that. Every little bit helps, okay? Wear a t-shirt from Stocks to Trade. Look at a little bowl that we give out, or the little toys. The things themselves are not important, but it's representative of the hard work that both of us have put in, and all of my top students. Tim Bertani has spent so much time. Mark Crook has spent so much time. Michael Good has spent so much time. And that is what we really want to reinforce with these little podcasts, with our video lessons, with our trades. The good news is this is not rocket science, okay? So when I'm saying put in a lot of time, some people are like, yeah, put in a lot of time, but where's the payoff? You have to be an absolute moron not to get all of this in 3 or 4 years. You could be borderline locked up. You could be in a special school. You could have some problems with your brain, and you can still learn everything in 3 or 4 years. So that's all we're asking for.
And that that's a big point is some people that's something that I talk about all the time is that showing up every day that you can, and putting in that time and that work and that effort, and success will come. And so many people want it too short. They want to do it in 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever. But there's nothing out there. I mean, name me any sort of skilled trade or career or whatever. I mean, you expect to go to college for a minimum of 2 years to get an associate's degree. Most careers is 4 years, some it's more, so don't try and compress the time down, and so many people try and shorten that learning curve, and I think that's why they short stuff like PPTH, because they want it now, they want to rush everything. You got to have that longer mindset, and the thing is, I plan on trading 60 years from now. I'm 45. I plan on dying at my laptop, I don't know of any other career or skill or anything else that you could literally do forever. I mean, if you're a plumber or a doctor, you can't do it forever. That's what's great about trading. And we actually talked about this at the Nasdaq. I think with cryptocurrencies and all this stuff, I think speculation is just going to continue to boom. There's no better time to learn this stuff than right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be small companies. There's always going to be scams. That's the beautiful thing about like this kind of gutter of the stock market. And we're trading not necessarily based on the company's fundamentals, but based on individual investors' psychology. They always think they've found the next Microsoft. They never have. So it's kind of like laughable that these patterns and rules still work. But again, people say, Tim, when are you going to retire? I don't think that you need to retire. And I don't think that you need to also trade every day. I think you can tailor this to your lifestyle. We have a lot of part-time traders, a lot of part-time students. When I say
part-time is one of the best ways to do that.
And say when I say okay, no days off, but have the no days off mentality. If you have a job, if you're in school, if you have a family, do that. Study an hour at night. Study for 2 hours on a Saturday morning before other people wake up. There's so much time in your life that goes wasted on Netflix, going out, Fortnite. There's so many different things that you're trying to entertain yourself to kind of not live your crappy kind of life. Like most people hate their jobs. Most people aren't as rich as they want to be. With this, you can create your dream life. You can get as rich as you want to be. You can take it as seriously or, as part-time as you want. There's always going to be opportunities. And the key is just being ready for those opportunities. As we're filming this interview, I see no great trades. They were filming this in the middle of the trading day. That's fine. Although CFMS is a nice multi-day bouncer, I was a little too early on that. So even though I'm not trading, I'm still looking at some other plays. I'm seeing what I could have done better. I could have had a little more patience with that one. It's not about being perfect. It's about getting better over time, trying to take what you can. I still made a few $100 on CFMS. If I held for another day, it would be a few $1,000s. So I'm going to remember that where, yes, I made a little money, but I could have done better. Trading is all about improving yourself, improving your knowledge account, improving your bank account, improving over time. So even if you don't get it, especially if you don't get it in your first week, first 2 weeks, first month, first 2 months, first year, you have to have patience. This is a marathon and not a sprint. And if I could come through the computer and choke you so that you realized it, and I would, but that would be assault, and I don't want that.
But yeah, I think that's a great point you made there that comes with experience. I mean, the biggest thing of showing up every day, and you can do it early in the morning, you can do it the night before. You can still have that day job, but you can start building this methodology in this way, really quickly this morning. I was doing a Stocks to Trade Pro webinar, doing twice a day every day, and within about 15 minutes, the whole chat worked. I was like, man, there's nothing that great out there.
And that's the thing, be ready.
Now I can do whatever the rest of the day.
Yeah, so just be ready, be alert. And then if there's no plays, cool, day off. You can go study, you can go work, go chill with your friends, family, whatever you want. You should not be trading every single day because with penny stocks, there's not always a great play. That said, sometimes there's amazing market environments like we've had the past few weeks where there have been 3, 4, 5, 7 great plays every day.
March was nuts.
And then there's days like today where there's nothing. So it's not a normal 9-to-5 job, and you have to learn to appreciate that. It takes some getting used to. Like a lot of people are like, okay, I'm taking Monday off. What are we going to trade today? Oh, there's no trades. Well, Tim says, I got to learn, so let me try this. And you're trying random trades, which inevitably is going to lead to random results. So if you're not seeing any truly great trades, study the past. You can always be better prepared with your history. Stock market history is a very underutilized indicator, because if you learn, like Tim Bohen said earlier, this is like a wheel. The patterns in the history repeats because it's based on individual investor psychology. So you have to learn from the past. I know you might not think that a video lesson or a trade that we did from 4 or 5 years ago is relevant right now, but it can be, because those kinds of patterns, sometimes those exact stocks become hot again. And the more prepared you are, if you realize, oh, wait a minute, this happened in July of 2014, oh my God, it's happening again, you're better prepared. Roland Wolf is a great example where he's turned 4,000 now into nearly $1 million, and he keeps trading the same kinds of stocks. He loves shipping stocks. He loves the same kinds of patterns. So study the past. This is why I have 6,000 video lessons in my library. It's not because I like talking. It's not because I'm obsessed with making video lessons. Like I have a weird fetish. Like, oh, let me make a video lesson today. It's because I'm adding to the archive so that you can study the past and be better prepared for the future. I know that's cliche. I know it's corny, but it's true. I'm trying to help you. It's in my own best interest to make you as rich as possible. So I'm going to give you every technique that I know, and everything that I wish someone had told me in the beginning, because I didn't have a teacher.
Yeah, I look back at when I first got started back in 2007. I mean, I was, I'm obviously an old guy. I'm pushing like 80 years old at this point, but, I'm a paper guy. So I would always print these charts, and it bums me out. I threw them away. I think you threw a lot of your old ones away.
I still have a lot of them. My mom kept them.
Okay. So, I mean, but I think back, back then, I would print these charts out. I would mark them up. And I remember, before I threw them away, a couple years later, I'd be like, wait a minute, that stock is in my notebook from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Call them the former runners. And oddly enough, you mentioned the shipping stocks. Today, we're recording March 25th. We've got kind of this mini shipping stock run where they're all, these tend to repeat. And there's so much value in studying them. I don't know if there's anything, well, I guess if you're like a history major, then there would be benefit in studying the history. But I don't know of any other career or opportunity where there's more value in studying the past, because this stuff just repeats over and over again.
I mean, if you look at this kind of like an education, and you look at this as a marathon, not a sprint, like you want to be as prepared as possible. How do you make the proper plan? How do you find the right stocks? How do you know the pattern inside and out? When do you exit the position? When do you sell half the position and maybe give the other half more time? The more examples from the past, the better. Obviously, nothing compares with your own personal experience. Like, you're going to learn what you're good at, because what Tim Bohen is good at is different from what I'm good at, which is different from Tim Grittani. So you need to find your personal best and worst kind of patterns and rules. But at the same time, until you have a lot of experience, like, you have to wait for those good plays to set up. And that might take, in any 6-month period, there might only be like 30 good plays. So how are you going to spend your time while waiting for those good plays? Studying the past gives you a lot to do, and then ideally you're better prepared for those 30 trades. Then you take those 30 trades, learn from the present, then you try to do the next 30 even better, and then the next 30. You're basically a scientist trying to find, a magic formula. Although there is no one specific magic formula, you can find your favorites. It's okay to have favorites. Like, not all of us are going to be great at short selling. Not all of us are going to be good at going long or being patient. Some people like buying breakouts. Some people like buying dips. It's all up to you, and you have to test and test and test and find what you're good at. Use stocks to trade. If you don't want to risk losing money, use the stocks to trade paper money and practice for free. You don't get the full emotional education, but at least when you're starting, you can still practice and you get some education, okay? So you get to choose, but you need to have the right mindset.
Well, Tim, I thank you for coming on again. I had a blast at the Nasdaq and the TraderExpo with you. That was a really cool experience. I mean, I really value your friendship. You're a great friend. You're a great business partner. Love hanging out with you. It was a great experience. Love having you on the podcast. Why don't you kind of take us out here? What are you working on lately? What's your? I know you're very active in the charity community. Kind of what's your active projects, and What do you got coming up? Other than working on your confidence.
Yeah, so literally as we're filming this, we just opened our 51st and 52nd school in Bali with my charity Karmagawa. I'm not in Bali right now, so part of my team is out there. We have another few people out in Tahiti that are filming for our upcoming Save the Reef documentary. So we have multiple teams now. Like, my charity is growing. We have this charity merch, Karmagawa. You can get it. It goes to charity. Click the link just below. We're going to post a link to Karmagawa. But that's why I wear this charity stuff. So for me, it's teaching, it's traveling, but it's also building schools. And now Save the Reef, I don't think you guys realize, like, I don't even put my head underwater, so I stink at like snorkeling or diving or anything like that. But at the same time, I recognize the value of the reef and I recognize the value of the oceans. We don't realize that the oceans, the marine life that creates most of our oxygen is not trees. Trees are actually a minority compared to the ocean, which is the majority. So we need to do a better job with the ocean. We're coming up with a whole Save the Reef campaign. If you follow Save the Reef on Instagram, it's crazy no one had it before me, and SaveTheReef.org. So that's coming this summer. I'm actually heading over to Palau, new country for me, country number 120. Excited to visit that. And then also Seychelles again. They have a beautiful reef. So we're going to have a big documentary. We're going to need your help. It's not just about, you know, treating the planet better and like having more renewables. It's using social media. The fact that you're watching this means that you're on the internet, you're on social media. When we come out with our Instagram video, when we come out with our YouTube video, I'm going to need your support to share it, to make it go viral. Our rhino video got over 30 million views, and that was fantastic. It raised 6 figures for charity. You know, we also donated $250,000, which was good, but we raised 6 figures more for these charities. So for me, it's about teaching you to get wealthy. Then once you're wealthy, you know, you can do whatever you want. I have all the toys in the world. We're going to go film, I think, with my Rolls Royce in a little bit to give you a little more inspiration, because I grew up, you know, dreaming of wanting these cars, and now I actually can buy them, which is crazy. But if you want to spend your money on cars, if you want to spend your money on charity, if you want to treat your family, I just bought my parents a nice big place in Miami Beach. It's whatever you want to do, but you need that money, and to get that money, you need that knowledge. You're not going to make a lot of money if you don't have knowledge. If you do make a lot of money really quickly and you don't have that knowledge, like Bitcoin people, you'll probably lose it just as fast. So it's figuring out how to make a lot and then keep making more, and having the right mindset, having enough knowledge to, you know, help grow it and not screw it up. Too many people make a lot of money, they get lucky maybe on a bad strategy or on a lucky pick, or maybe they use leverage.
It reminds me of that. Weren't you on, this is about a year and a half ago or so, but weren't you on like a private jet with a bunch of Bitcoiners and like the engines went out or something?
Thank you for bringing that up. The hydraulics went out. We had to land at a different airport. It's very dangerous, you know, with private jets and hydraulics. Actually, I wouldn't be mad if you said no to private jets. Like, if you look at the safety records, they're worse. But I was on this plane with a whole bunch of Bitcoin traders, and the hydraulics went out. We had to land at a different airport, but I didn't know if we could even land. And I'm like, this is my destiny. You know, I rip on Bitcoin investors all the time, and I'm going down on this freaking plane. I can just imagine like the headline, like 9 Bitcoin traders and 1 penny stock trader go down in the jet. Karma catches up to them or something, you know. But we didn't go down. Bitcoin went down instead, and they're probably, you know, half of them probably committed suicide anyway. So karma does get to those people. This is why I created Karmagawa, because I want to give back education, charity, inspiration, knowledge, whatever I can do to help you. That's what really excites me these days, sharing this all through these new tools that were not available just a few years ago. We're actually filming this on Zoom. Zoom just filed for an IPO. They're actually profitable. It's going to be a fantastic stock. So this is an exciting time to be alive. The Nasdaq, the TradersExpo, these are just extensions where we can either meet you in person or, you know, be greatly honored by ringing the bell at, you know, what I think is the best exchange in the world. So it's fun, and thank you, Tim Bohen, for all your hard work. You know, like, you work your butt off. You know, I just wish that you would kill less animals. That's the only thing. Maybe that'll be your New Year's resolution. If you killed like 400 deer in 2018, maybe you could kill less in 2019. I'm not trying to get you to change completely. I'm not trying to say go vegan, but just save a few, okay? Because every last animal is useful to the whole ecosystem, especially as I learn more and more. Watch The Cove on Netflix.
They're also delicious. That's the issue.
Well, I've been trying to watch out with what I eat too. Like, we can all do better. I think it would be a good example for the community if you killed less things and you focus more on helping animals. Maybe instead of shooting the deer, maybe pet it, maybe feed it. Do something different. All I'm saying is try different stuff. Maybe you'll pet it and you won't like it and you'll be like, screw this, and then you'll shoot it. At least you tried, okay? Give it a chance. For everybody, try to be a little nicer to animals, to your neighbor. I know that I'm getting like a little crazy, but I've met and seen so much of the world. I met so many people everywhere. And for me, it's just love. Like, I love living. I love our planet. I love our wildlife. I love our environment. I'm excited for the future using these tools, and I'm just trying to spread, knowledge.
So again, I'd like to thank you, Tim. This was a great episode. I think we had some fun. We had some educational content as well. We'd like to thank the Trader Expo, the Money Show, for having us. Definitely, we'll have all these linked on the post on SteadyTrade.com. If you're listening on iTunes, go over there. You can see the link to Trader Expo and the Money Show. Thank you to the Nasdaq for having us. That was a great honor. They brought us up. They allowed us to present. They interviewed us to talk about stocks to trade, what Tim and I saw for the future of trends. And then also, again, all the links to be in the post. Check out Kamigawa. Check out SaveTheWreath.org. And then Tim is Timothy Sykes, all one word, on all social media. Check them out there. And thanks again, Tim.
Only trust verified profiles, okay? We have a lot of imposters. It's so annoying.
Here's
Why not, instead of shooting a deer, shoot one of our imposters? Let's channel your anger and violence and aggression to people, frankly, that deserve it. And I'm not advocating violence. I'm just saying, you should mess up our imposters, because that stinks.
Tim and I don't do stock picks. We don't believe in stock picks. We believe in the process.
And we don't manage other people's money. That's imposters.
Yes, but here's a tip. I have a hot tip for everybody that's listening.
Invest in yourself.
If a celebrity name with like a bunch of numbers after it asks you for money on social media, it might be fake. It just might be fake. Okay, there's your hot tip from the podcast. I
have one last hot tip. Everyone says, okay, Tim, I believe in you. Just give me one hot tip. What should I put my money into? What should I invest in? Invest in yourself. Put your money into education. It will pay such great dividends year 1, year 2, year 3, year 5. If you focus on building your brain, if you focus on building your skill set, it is amazing. You become self-sufficient, and you just need to consider it as an investment. Too many people don't realize it. They're like, oh, I don't want to spend money on that. But then they'll go spend money on like a PlayStation or something that wastes your time, that sucks everything out of here. And that is not the right way to think. I'm all for entertainment, but at the same time, focus more on building yourself. I want to make more money stock trading. How do I do it? Invest in tools like stocks to trade. Some of you guys message me, you don't have real-time tools, you don't have level 2, you don't have streaming, you don't have the right news. Some platforms don't even cover these low-price stocks that are the absolute biggest percent gainers in the market. Some people use the wrong brokers where you can't trade the stocks that are fitting the patterns perfectly. You need to think about how can you be best prepared to capitalize on all of this opportunity. How can you be best prepared to make as much money as possible? And it starts with taking this very seriously, focusing on your education, investing in your education, time and money, and then seeing how it plays out year after year when you have the right plan, when you have the right people teaching you. That is what this is all about, okay? It's not about how much money you can make today or tomorrow or this week or this month. How much money can you make next year or 2 years or 5 years? How can you plan today? What can you do today to put yourself in the best position in the future? And if you think ahead, which no one else wants to do. If you plan ahead, you have an advantage. You have a big, big, big advantage. A lot of people say, oh, Tim, how did you get to this place? Well, I've been planning. I've been working for 20 plus years. And like we said, it's not going to take you that long because we're here to help you speed up your learning curve. But you need to think ahead. What can you do right now, as you're watching this video, as you're clicking the links just below this video, what can you do right now that's going to benefit your future self, your family's future, and your kids, and your kids' kids? Think about that. Don't be ignorant. Don't just think about the present. Think about the future. And trust me, it goes so quick, and you will be so rewarded over time if you have the right mindset. Hey, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope that they help you. I want to share everything that I've learned over the years. You can check out more videos right over there. And also click subscribe so that you can watch all of these videos, get that knowledge, and become my next millionaire student.